Welcome back to 192 Manufacturing. This is part 2 of a 3-part series where we turn this pile of lumber into this usable bench that I can mount my machine tools on. Last week we laminated the initial beam that we would use to reference all of the rest of our glue up for the actual table. So if you want to go check that video out of how I processed this glue up of 5 2x6s into a flat and square beam that again I could use as a reference to glue all the rest of the table surface onto these boards. And I'm gonna have to glue it in place, so I have to do some prep to this beam before I mount it to the actual table bottom, the table legs. I'm going to secure the tabletop to the table base with 3 dovetailed boards that make up part of the lamination on each end of the table. And so here I am making those dovetailed boards and in preparation for gluing them into that laminated tabletop. Now that I have made 6 of these individual pieces, that would be 3 for each end, then I'll go over to the actual table base that I have, and I need to locate and cut the matching dovetail slots into the table support. And so again, I'll do that in 3 locations, so that as I laminate the table in place on top of this table bottom, I'll be able to glue those pieces into the correct slots and into the table at the same time. And when I say glue them into the correct slots, actually I'm not gonna glue the tabletop to this table base. It'll actually be able to slide to the left and to the right if that were possible. So it'll just dovetail into the base so that it can't lift off of the top. After cleaning out the dovetails, and I'll do this 6 times, 3 on this beam and 3 on the opposing beam on the other end of the table, then I need to fit these dovetailed cut boards into that slot. So the way I'm going to do that is just to sand off the excess. I found that just working a little bit at a time makes a big difference. If I try to take a planer or a chisel or something like that on this real soft wood, it typically ends up that you go a little too far. And here you can see how it's going to finish out. On the right hand side of the beam, the board is the thickness of the tabletop, and then it has the dovetail that drops down to catch into the beam. And here I've got that first initial glue up beam, and I'm gonna now laminate these dovetail pieces onto that beam at the same time as I slide them into the cross beams or the cross supports. And with this glue up complete, this is the initial glue up that actually registered that beam that I made in last week's video onto the cross members of the table base. And now everything that I glue on from here on out, I'll be gluing boards onto the tabletop out toward the face of the bench. And as I go, I'm gonna have 2 more dovetail slots to register the top onto the base. And now it's a matter of gluing on more boards and dovetailing again more slots into those 2 cross beams. And as I go, there's the dovetailed slots into the cross beams. And as I go, I'll be continuing to build the tabletop and locking the tabletop into the base at the same time. And we just keep doing that until we get everything glued up. And once that's done, the tabletop will be built. It'll still need to be finished, but it will also be firmly attached to the table base. Thanks for joining me today as I continue this table build. If you want to see the first part, then check out the link to the video in the description below, and it'll take you to part 1 of the table build on my channel. Thanks again for watching. Be sure to hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.